Well, it's finally happened. He did it. He actually did it. And that is a full overhaul of the entire planetary pop system to tie into a full-on market system within the context of the game. Now, if this is already blowing your mind, but you're not entirely sure what I'm talking about, that's let's look back a couple of days and see what we had. Now, a couple of days back, Wiz showed us a image online about a market. Now, there's a standard market and a slave market, market fees and all that stuff, and what kind of resource you wanted to share. Now, there were a couple of resources on here where we weren't quite sure of what they actually were. There are 3 of these. They look like little metal bars, something with a ring, which we think was precious goods, and a third option that we weren't quite sure about on what it actually was. But fair enough, a marketplace. That's a good start for a trade system. Let's move forward to today. So today, we were given the following image, and that is, well, I'm just gonna show it and let it sink in for a couple seconds. What we have here is a full-on overhaul of the planetary summary and population system based on, well, pretty much everything, really. Normally, in the past, you would have your governor on there, your basic building overview and whatnot. Not even the basic building overview on the planetary summary. You would just have a general overview of which governor was there, what the energy or mineral output would be for that particular planet, as well as science, and that would pretty much be it, except for maybe some edicts here and there. This is completely different. We have now something called districts and how many tiles there are available on said districts. Apparently on this one, a planet size of 16. It doesn't really make all that much sense at the moment, but it does look like we will have multiple systems in terms of districts, such as population, industry, food production, and then a 4th one, which is not particularly clear as of right now. On top of that, multiple biomes. One of the big things within the game is that everything kind of floats onto single biome planets. Even right now, this is still referred to as a continental world, but all of a sudden we have a ton of different icons, which in the past would have been blockers, such as mountain ranges, volcano, etc., but also a couple of lowlands and things like that. On top of that, there is, well, let's put it this way. There are multiple jobs. There is something called ruler jobs, of which there are 2 administrators. There are specialist jobs like artisans, enforcers, meteorologists, and researchers, and worker jobs called clerk, farmer, miner, and technician. Now, this is fascinating to me because this means that we're going to have a full-on development of the way society works within the context of the game. And this is something that has not really been touched since Utopia and the addition of the society standards, what kind of abilities your species gets, or what kind of bonuses they get. Can they be scientists and stuff like that? What this means is there's an extreme amount of deepening of content here, as well as min-maxing planets, which could mean that the One Planet Challenge is not dead just yet. On top of that, there is the resources that are being produced here. Something that I have no idea what it is. 17 energy, 16 minerals, 24 food, science, society, physics, engineering, unity, and then the 2 icons of which we think are metals as well as precious goods. But we don't know yet. They could be customer goods, they could be precious goods. We don't know as of right now, and also what sort of upkeep they have. In addition, there's the buildings. Now, some of these buildings are kind of fascinating because these icons at the moment are lifted from the habitats, which is kind of cool, but there's not a lot of detail on how this is going to be developed in the future. Now, all of this stuff is most likely placeholder, etc. Then there is a little icon for buildings, or at least what is available housing-wise, which is rather interesting, and also something regarding unemployment. But that's not everything. This is just the planetary summary tab. Let's move on towards the picture that was uploaded a couple hours later. The population tab. Well, here it is. Well, for some of you who are wondering, are we ever going to get Victoria 3? I think Stellaris was Victoria all along. Because here we have a completely deepened strata or societal hierarchy, how everything works, what is being produced where, and what is being used what. It's really fascinating to see this. Let's start off on the left here. Jobs. We got 2 rulers, 2 administrators. That means they generate 4 unity and something else. Maybe economical boom. Who knows? Maybe we can attach a couple of edicts by using the little notepad on the left there. Specialists, whatever these specialists are. With 18 workers of variety. Apparently clerks. Who knows what those are? The specialists are apparently generating mostly science and specialized goods. Then there's demographics, which is also extremely interesting. 26 pops, which is more than you would get on a standard planet. What their happiness is. Apparently cultural output, maybe. How many robots there are. What the demographics of the population is. And what is the ethics on that planet. But most importantly, growing, assembling, and declining demographics. So we could actually be seeing a full-on demographic pyramid, or at least pyramid chart, with growth, assembly, and the declination. Now, growth and declining, growth obviously for biopops and assembly for robot pops, but yeah, very interesting. Also, uprising stuff and a new scale thing that I'm not entirely sure for what it is. Deposits and decisions as well. Then on the right side, and this is the stuff that is beyond fascinating. Citizenship. Full citizenship, that's fine. We had that in Utopia. Living standards, decent conditions, that's fine. We had that in Utopia. Military service, the same thing. Population controls, migration controls, etc. Now we get to the interesting stuff. Job, clerk. Strata. Looks like we're going to have full-on societal strata. What kind of housing needs they have, what they produce, what their upkeep cost is. And most likely they will be costing precious goods right now, which is rather interesting. Now, where does all this stuff lead to? Well, there is also another picture that, a picture, he says. Wiz also added something else, which was a definition of, well, it ended up to be, let's put it this way. It is basically synthetic nobles. Apparently you can have unemployed robo-nobles that are on subsidization. That's right, you can have unemployed robot nobles on welfare. That is the most ridiculous spaghetti sentence I have ever heard, and it is amazing. And apparently it came across as a thing that wasn't really expected. A bug in the system, and they decided to keep it. Now, overall, where does all this stuff lead to? Where do these resources actually go to? Well, let's take a look, shall we, to the final, because turns out all this actually has impact on other things as well. Welcome to the ship designer. The ship designer is actually being overhauled. Looks like production cost for ships is going to change drastically. Something about basic materials, and in this particular case, Teldar crystals. This is absolute insanity. There is also no upkeep on this ship for some reason, which definitely doesn't make any sense whatsoever. I'm really curious what we're going to be seeing. And of course, there's the big chunk on the top, which has still been redacted. So we're going to be seeing a lot more in this particular direction. This, in combination with the planet-wide cities that may be coming up, we are effectively looking at a full-on rework from the ground up of the population system, the production system, a trade system, and God knows what else. It's a very exciting time to be a Stellaris player right now, because the stuff that we're going to be seeing in the next few months, let's put it this way, when 2.0 came out and everybody's like, I don't know how to play this anymore, this is going to be us in the same boat once again. If you have any ideas on how this is going to develop, leave the comments below. If you like this video, give it a like as well, of course, that's why it's there. But in the meantime, we're going to wrap things up here. And we hope that you have enjoyed it. Thank you so much for watching, and until next time, take good care of yourselves and, as always, each other.